Yes, 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 yes. Yes. The tea is hitting this morning, honey. Not only do I have my Celestial Seasons tea packet in here, but I had my oldest son go out in the backyard and pick mints for me. So I got my fresh mints popping, my tea bag. This tea is everything that I need to soothe my raspy voice this morning as I do jump into this review for Family or Fiancé. So Family, Fiancé, Alexis and Danley. I'm going to say this right now, guys. All my Christians out there, all my Catholics out there, all my Buddhists out there, say a prayer for your girl Beans, because I'm trying to get through this review without cursing out a woman of God and calling curses upon myself and my life and my children. Because the ignorance that was on display this episode took me back to a moment in Brooklyn. And that moment was my childhood growing up as a Haitian American woman within the five boroughs. It was not an easy time for Haitians back in the 80s. We were met with a lot of discrimination. We were met with hatred. We were met with the type of ignorance that stays with you till this very day. Yes, there are remnants of what I went through growing up as a Haitian that I can still feel to this very day. So watching this ignorant ass episode, I was in my feelings, if you know what I mean. And my Haitian brothers and sisters who are around the 30, not even a 30, maybe 35, 40 age, if y'all watching, y'all will definitely understand my aggravation with this whole Alexis and Danley situation. All right, Alexis and Danley, nice looking couple, but immediately I thought, you guys look a little bit too young to be walking down the aisle. Alexis is the bride to be. She is 27, I believe, and Danley is 25. So I think she's the one that's older than Danley. And then I'm like, Danley. Danley is such a Haitian name. Danley, Vimpalo. Instead of calling the child Danny, like sticking an L in there is a very Haitian. It's a very Haitian thing to do. And yes, I could say that because I am Haitian. But yeah, Danny's looking as cute as he wants to be with the little braids. And Alexis is all right or whatever. Day one, they're driving up. They're in their car talking about, are you ready for this? Yeah, our families are going to be here together. Apparently, some of the issues that this young couple to be are facing is the fact that the family does think they are too young to be getting married. I definitely agree with that. And also, Alexis's grandma is a minister, and she has a problem with Danley being Catholic while they are Christian. This is going to be aggravating as hell. They get to the house, and Therapist Tracy comes out. And Therapist Tracy, girl, you was not given last episode like you were given this episode. This episode, them nuggets of wisdom that you were dropping made me see exactly why you have that spot on the show as Therapist Tracy. Therapist Tracy was reading. She was reading, and her assessments of the situation were so dead on. I was like, Therapist Tracy, here. I'm giving you a round of applause. Therapist Tracy comes out and shows them the house and then ushers the young couple to sit down and have her first interview with them. And she wants to know how they met. They met at the DMV. Alexis came off as crazy, so Danley did break up with her way back when. And they got back together, and they're looking to knock on matrimony's door. Alexis says she does admit that she calls Danley a lot. She knows all the passcodes to the phone. When someone's calling or if someone's texting, she goes, hey, Danley, Junior's calling. Do you want to answer or do you want me to answer for you? Girl, hold up, wait a minute. Why is it necessary for you to know all his passcodes into his phones? And on top of that, are you his mother? Does Danley not have a brain to be able to pick up the phone and talk to someone? Or does he not have enough 2 cents, in that brain of his to not text somebody back should he choose not to text somebody back? I'm like, I could already see Alexis is doing too much, and I can already see trust is an issue in this relationship. Because my sentiment is, if I'm with somebody, I shouldn't have to have passcodes to be checking what's going on. I shouldn't have to mother you by picking up phone calls meant for you. What the hell? Child, no. Danley says he has nothing to hide. She's looking for something. She's looking for something because by all intents and purposes on his side, he hasn't cheated on Alexis. So this behavior is rather unnecessary. I believe so too. Therapist Tracy wants to know who from Alexis' side of the family is coming up. Alexis' grandmother, her mother, and her uncle is coming up. They pan over to them in the car talking. And Alexis' mother... All right, my wig needs to be replaced. I'm going to skip over judging what Alexis' mother is giving me hair-wise, so I'm not going to go there. You could drag me too, because mine is tattered. Shout out to Loves Me Hair. Like, it held on for a few months, but yeah, it's time to change. I say all this to say I'm not going to judge the woman by her hair, but I was looking at her like, okay, I kind of don't understand. But she mentions in the car, he's from Haitian descent. And I had to sit back for a moment and say, if he was Jamaican, would you call out his descent? He's from Jamaican descent. If he was Guyanese or Trinidadian, oh, he's from Trinidadian descent. The fact that you would call out that Danley is from Haitian descent is because you feel there's something wrong with his culture or his descent. And I'm like, here we go with the bullshit. Like, I already see myself being aggravated. Alexis's grandmother believes that, you cannot be unequally yoked because Danley is Catholic and she is Christian. First of all, Christianity is a group of several different sects. Protestant, Baptist, Lutheran, Episcopalian. Can you please, I can't stand when people say Christian. That to me, that doesn't mean anything. Please break down the denomination because it'll make more sense. It'll put things into context with me. And I don't understand where she would think they were unequally yoked. You do realize that Christianity is a derivative of Catholicism, right? Meaning Christianity, the way it stands now, came from the Catholic Church. Because, madam, if you put the Bible down for 2 seconds and open a textbook to balance out knowledge and ignorance, you would understand that Martin Luther and them came through. They revolted against the Christian Church. The Christian Church became what it was today because it now segmented. Instead of being part of the Catholic Church, now we have the whole Protestant movement. Now we have the Pentecostals. Now we have the Baptists. So I think for you to say, because this young man is Catholic, that's darkness, whereas she's like, lady, I think you're way off base. Alexis comes off at those harsh, judgmental ministers that really doesn't have the love of Christ to understand how we're more united than divided. Family's beef. Danley's cousins and 2 friends are the ones that are coming to the house. And I'm like, out of all your family, you got 2 friends and a cousin? Where's your mother? Where's your father? But then that quickly, I had to sit back and say, these are Haitian people. A Haitian mother or a Haitian father are not about the shenanigans. Because if there's one thing I can say about... One thing I can say about Haitian people, Haitian people are very conservative. We are not with the bullshit. 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to find us on reality TV. That one instance is with Black and Crew with Charmaine, and Charmaine's mother-in-law is Haitian. That's the only instance where I've seen a real old school Haitian parent up in these reality TVs. But I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that he would have a cousin and 2 friends comes up because, yeah, no, Haitians are not with this nonsense. Danley's friends and cousins, I'm just going to call them Danley's family, they have a problem with the fact that Alexis is not Haitian. And they also have a problem with the fact that Alexis is bossy, and they feel like Danley doesn't have a voice in this relationship. And I can certainly see that. Therapist Tracy lets them know what their tasks are. Alexis will cook an authentic Haitian meal with the family. Let's just say I hope the cousin is doing most of the cooking. The cousin. And Danley will play Power of Truth with Alexis's family. And I'm seeing a recurring theme. She usually has the women, Therapist Tracy usually has the women bond through food and through cooking. Whereas the men usually bonds through questions being asked by the bride-to-be's family. Cool. I like a theme. I like consistency. Nice. Bride's family gets there first. Grandma comes to the door and she hugs Danley, and Grandma was like, "Oh, you could have given me a real hug. Like, you didn't have to give me that fake hug." And I'm like, "Oh, Grandma, we're starting already, huh?" Grandma's problem is the cultural difference and the fact that he isn't saved. Again, what do you know this man about this man's relationship with God? Just because you're saved in one way that means that he can't be saved in another way. All right, miss me with all of that. So it's this whole Catholic versus Christianity thing, and again, they're not that different. They're not. Groom's family comes in. The family, again, Danley's family believes that his relationship with Alexis is one-sided, and I could already see that. The couple stands up and asks both sides of the family, what are the issues with myself and Alexis being married? Alexis's mother sets it off. You are from the Haitian culture where women raise kids and manage a household, and I don't think Alexis is ready for that. Okay, granted, the Haitian culture is based in roles. Women are expected to do certain things and men are expected to do certain things. But Alexis's mama, this question's to you. How is that so different from American culture? Or if Alexis dates a Jamaican, you think if Alexis dates a Jamaican man, that Jamaican man is not going to expect her to raise his kids and take care of his household? You don't think if she marries Americans, that will be the same expectation? I beg to differ. There are very few households that I know of where the man is raising the children and taking care of the house while the woman's out there making $1 out of 15 cents to pay all the bills. I see rare occasions. I think she's being a little bit unfair. And her other issue is she wants someone who can adequately provide for Alexis. What y'all know about Danny's situation? Are y'all broke? Are y'all broke? Grandma says the soul is it's the light versus the darkness. They have nothing in common. All right, Grandma, you can keep telling yourself that narrative, but what I know from my experience, from my 41 years on this planet, thank you, Jesus, I have seen plenty of Catholic and Christian marriages that have been 20, 30 years. So please, I got cousins like that. Cousins who are married to men who started off in the Catholic faith or who are still in the Catholic faith. Miss me with all of that. And then, oh my God, help me, Holy Ghost. And then, Alexis's grandmother goes on to say that Haitians come from a wicked background. Let me tell you something, lady. I'm going to try to call you lady and not the ignorant bitch you're making yourself look like on Beyonce's TV. You know what I'm saying? Voodooism. And I guess the wicked background is voodooism. Let me tell you something. Voodooism is not analogous to Haiti or being Haitian. In other words, several parts of the world practice voodooism. How dare you? You have the unmitigated gall to judge a whole group of people by the actions of a small subset. You are misinformed. You are completely ignorant. So let me ask you a question. If Alexis was dating an African, okay, Africans practice voodooism. In fact, if you've ever cracked the book open, you would understand that voodooism came from West Africa and it immigrated into Haiti during the time of slavery. All right? So don't put that on us. Don't put wickedness on us. I wish you were more enlightened to understand, first of all, what do you know about voodooism past what you see on TV? Past what you see past what you see of chickens and heads being cut off. You don't know a damn thing about the religion to call it wicked, number one. And number two, everyone practices voodooism. If she was talking to a Hispanic guy, what do Hispanics practice voodooism too? That Santa Maria, Santa Ana bullshit. They got some black magic for that ass, bitch. So don't put voodooism and wickedness on a Haitian culture. Ma'am, you wish you had the class and sophistication of a Haitian. We come from a country stricken with poverty, and we come here and we bust shit down. Let me tell you something about my family. My family, 99% of us are homeowners. 99% of us got that Skrilla. 99% of us, we got doctors, we got lawyers, we got marketing professionals being. Don't you ever come out of your ass and call a whole ethnicity, wicked because a few people are practicing a religion that you don't fucking understand, bitch. Woo. I'll pray for forgiveness. But the ignorance of her grandmother took me back to a time of not so very pleasant time. So when I tell you my blood was boiling watching that, oh my gosh. I wish, lady, I wish you were as intelligent as you were sanctified. They pan over to Danley and Alexis and their confessional, or whatever you call it. They have the white screen or whatever, and they're on the couch. And Danley echoes my sentiments. Thank you, young man. Danley says, you can't judge a whole group of people by a small subset that practices. You cannot call a whole group wicked. That point blank, period. And then here comes Alexis. It's the voodoo. She's talking about the voodoo. Danley says only a small percentage of people in Haiti practice voodooism. And if you did your homework, you would know that. And the way that Danley said it to her, he was clearly aggravated. And then at this point, I'm like, Alexis, I don't like you. I don't like you because I feel like you share the sentiments of your family, which is Haitians are wicked, which is, he has to be saved, which is, and I'm like, if you have all these significant differences, why are you on this man's dick to get married? Why? The groom's family's beef. They feel like Danley is losing his voice in the relationship. And I can tell you, I can see that. Alexis has a very strong personality. The fact that she has all his passcodes to his phone and he doesn't have balls big enough to say, nah, bitch. Not today. Ooh, sorry. Oh, it's the tea. The fact that Danley cannot say, no, bitch, not today. This is not what we're doing. Yes, I can see that she's definitely the one that runs him. And another issue with Alexis is that she has these guys texting her. And when she gets these text messages from said guys, she deletes them. All right, bitch. So let me get this straight. You can invade Danley's privacy by going through his stuff, by having his passcodes, but a nigga can text you and you can delete the text message. You have that right. You see, trust is a major issue in this dynamic. These two don't need to get married. Therapist Tracy explains the exercise and what they're going to do, and then they pan over to Danny shady ass Haitian family talking about she don't know how to cook. The only thing she eats is chicken nuggets and French fries. I mean, it looks about right to me. So they get together and they start doing their task. The cousin, where do I know you from, girl? Where do I know you from? I feel like I've known her from back in the days when I was in the church and gospel circuit, probably when I was singing with Haitian Mass. I wonder if Haitian Mass is still a choir. But I feel like I know her from somewhere, or we connected from somewhere. I wonder where these people are from. Did they mention where they're from? If they did, please drop it down in the comment box. But the cousin did let Alexis know that she picked a simple meal for them to prepare, griot. No, the hell it isn't a simple meal for her chicken nugget eating ass. Alexis is not cooking as it's supposed to make griot, and it's supposed to cut up the pork shoulder, supposed to season it to perfection with the lemon and the vinegar, supposed to make that 8-piece, girl. Child, no. Alexis has this knife and it's like stabbing it. I said, cousin, girl, do not even play yourself. Girl, cousin, Haitian cousin, if you don't make that griot and stop playing with us. Danny plays Tower of Truth with Alexis's family. And I have to say, looking at this episode, the questions were a joke. The questions were completely really dumb and shallow, meaning the questions that they asked of Danley, or let me be fair, the questions that Danley picked out, I'm like, none of these questions serve to know him a little bit better. None of these questions had any kind of depth. None of these questions to me, had an ability to draw these people together. These questions, to me, were just shade and just gave grandma another opportunity to judge. So grandma was like, how do you feel about being Christian? How else about he's supposed to feel about being Christian? Danley says, I've been Catholic all my life. Grandma goes into the light versus darkness, and I'm like, I'm gonna need grandma to shut up. Like I'm gonna need grandma to be done with this whole nonsense. All right, I don't want to hear it. Yes, there are differences between Catholicism and Christianity, but at the end of the day, they come from the same place. Give it a break, grandma. Go back to Alexis cooking with her family, Alexis cooking with Danley's family, and they asked the question of the hour. Alexis, why do you delete these text messages from these guys? And she's like, I don't want Danley to see text messages, so I delete them before he says, what's going on? Why are they texting you? And that's all well and good, but my question is, Alexis, why do these guys have your number? Simple question. Why do these guys have your number? If you're giving your number out to these guys, they're going to text. They're going to reach out. A simple fix is, I'm in a relationship. No, you can't have my number. I think you like the attention of having other guys. I really think so. I feel like you think you're very pretty. And you think that Danley has everything he needs in you. Girl, I'm going to go on ahead and say you ain't that cute. Alexis goes on to say, she's not going to stop deleting text messages. She is not going to conform because basically Danley created this monster. And I agree, I agree. Danley did create this monster because I felt like if you would have manned up and put this chick in her place, this is not something that you would have to be dealing with. She says Danley has a lot of issues that she needs to work with. She says Danley needs to be more manly. Danley is very immature. Danley needs to lead. And then Danley's cousin and friends are like, what do you need to work on? And Alexis is like, I don't need to work on anything. And in this moment, the way she came off to the family, I'm like, bitch, you are not even trying. You're not even trying to get to know these people. You're not even approaching this in a soft way where you're open. You're just being a straight bitch in this situation. She says, look at everything that Danley has. Where's he gonna find all of this? Where's he gonna find all of it? Bitch, Danley can find that, you, and a lot better. Danley, wake up, Danley. Open your eyes, Danley. Hit me up. Drop down in the comment box. I got a gang of pretty ass cousins in their 20s that will body Alexis. When I tell you body, looks, intelligence, career, and they're Haitian and they know how to cook their asses off. I got it girl K. I got my princess Nikki. I got my C Breeze. You can do better. In my opinion, Danley is dating down by dating Alexis. Yes, catch them teas. And speaking of my cousin, if you're in the Brooklyn area, my cousin Breeze has this brunch service. I'll put all the information in the description box. Get you some nice mimosas. Get you a nice authentic Haitian meal for pennies on the dollar, honey. Love you, Clooney. Anyway, so this whole scene with Alexis, if I was in that situation and I was Danley's family, I would have shut down. I would have shut completely down. In my take, I would have been like, no, y'all really do not need to be together. They pan over to Danley again, and Danley's other question is something about career, what you want to do. And I'm like, surprise, surprise. Of course, the mother would ask that question. The dynamic between the mother and the grandmother and the uncle. Uncle is neutral. Uncle is seeing things from a non-biased way. Grandma is all about the soul. Mother with the crinkly weave. Alexis' mother is concerned about provision and money and what he can do for Alexis. So he's talking about, I think he's taking cybersecurity classes. He's running down what he does for a living. Again, really shallow questions. And somehow they get to Danny's schedule, and Danny explains that he does his school stuff, but then after his school stuff, he spends every waking day with Alexis. And Alexis' uncle is like, you don't get tired of that, bro? Bro, that's going to be you for the next 30 years. And even Danley was like, you've given me something to think about. So now it's the family dinner, and dear Lord, I hope it's that cousin that made that grill, because I wouldn't be eating anything from Alexis's ass. Grandma asked Alexis to pray, and the prayer that Alexis makes was, thank you, God, for this meal. It was like a sing-song nursery rhyme prayer that, a 2-year-old could recite. I'm like, bitch, like when my 13-year-old can put together a more compelling prayer and blessing over food. I'm like, Alexis seems shallow. Everything about Alexis screams shallow. It really does. I don't like her. Alexis asked Grandma what she thought about the task, and Grandma said she had her concerns, and she still has her concerns, but she does see that Danley is genuine. Danley asked his family how the cooking task went. They did not hold any punches. They went in. Danley's cousin family said she called out everything that was wrong with you. She said you're immature. She says you need to man up. She says that you need to be more about her and focus on her. Danley was like, well, girl, how much more do you want me to focus on you? I already spent every waking part of my day with you. You know all the passcode. How can it be more? And he said, how do you want me to be better? Because in his take, he's doing everything. And I can, from this little clip that I saw from this hour episode, he's doing a lot more than you deserve, Alexis. Daniel's cousin jumps in and says she was quite disrespectful in the kitchen, and she comes off as self-censored. I agree. So Alexis tries to retract and goes, no one is perfect. No one's perfect, but I'm a good person. And then Danley hits her with this. Danley hits her with what I'm going to read right now, and it shows me that Danley and Alexis are unequally yoked, and it has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with insight and depth. Alexis is very shallow. Alexis, after being disrespectful to Danny's family, says, she's trying, but she's a good person. Danny says, if you say you're a good person and you don't act like a good person, are you a good person? Yes, Danny. I'm tired of people telling me what they are and they don't have actions to back it up. Danny has a lot more depth, and he comes off more intelligent and more insightful than Alexis. You need to throw the whole Alexis away. Day 2, Grandma is coming downstairs. Oh, I feel the demon. Demon? Satan, in the name of Jesus, be gone! And everyone's in the kitchen like, what in the world? And then Grandma says, it's gone. The evil is gone. And then Grandma goes, I'm praying just in case. I'm praying just in case you're curious about what I was doing. Yes, we know you were praying, but it was out of place. Ain't nobody spitting up pea soup here. Chill, Grandma. Therapist Tracy checks in with Danley and Alexis. Danley says that his task went well. Alexis says her task with Danny's family was indeed a shit show. They question Alexis about her text message, and then she's going on and on about, how she was feeling. Therapist Tracy had to stop her, and Therapist Tracy said, how did your tone come off talking to Danley's family? And Alexis had to be upfront with the fact that her tone was out of line. Alexis says, I did come off aggressive. And this is where I had to give Therapist Tracy just a high five, dabs, everything, fist pumps, girl. Therapist Tracy says, maturity is honoring your fiance's family despite how you're feeling. Yes, Therapist Tracy, there's a certain level of respect that you approach your fiance's family with. And again, it really ties back into Alexis's immaturity. Therapist Tracy says, what do you guys argue about? Alexis goes on to say she argues about everything, and when she argues, she tends to shut down. Alexis says she's a lot like her grandmother, and Therapist Tracy says, but your grandmother is alone. Therapist Tracy said, you can't act like people who are alone. Your grandmother's not making a relationship work. She can be one-sided, cantankerous, and evil. She can. But if you're trying to walk down the altar, no, that ain't it. Therapist Tracy wants to know why they want to get married. She says, well, she loves him. I'm tired of these people throwing the word loves around and you don't see the love. I haven't seen, Alexis, I haven't seen this thing that you call love in this whole hour. You haven't been affectionate. You haven't spoken to Danny in a way that was respectful. I just don't see it. She says she loves him and he takes care of her. And Danny says, yes, I do take care of you and you take advantage of that. And Alexis does admit she does take advantage of the fact that he does take care of her well. So if he takes care of you so well, why is your mother so concerned about him being a provider? That was a little bit of a disconnect for me. Tracy wants Alexis to go back and talk to Danny's family. So at dinner, Alexis says, she speaks to Danny's family. Alexis says she's going to try and work on herself. And first of all, the tone in which she says it just sounds like she was appeasing them. It didn't sound like she was honestly going to put in any work. It sounds like she just wants to get this whole episode over with so that she can start planning her wedding. But sincerity was not it. So in the same breath of her saying she's going to work on herself, of course, she has to, pick out what's wrong with Danley. She says, well, in the same vein, Danley needs to get saved or we're not going to get married. So at this moment, instead of owning everything and instead of walking in the truth that you have a lot to work on, just going to go ahead and throw Danny under the bus. Child, I cannot. But then Alexis's mother jumps in with the 1-2. Alexis' mom said, if Danny gets saved, will you stop going through his phone? Oh, shit. Question. At this point, her family is questioning Alexis and why she's so distrustful of Danley. Their argument is you should be able to trust Danley. That going through the phone, having the passcode, all of that is so unnecessary. Alexis doesn't have an answer. In fact, Alexis gets agitated and takes the same aggressive tone that she took before in the kitchen with Danny's family. But she's like, well, Danny could go. Danny could have his passwords and he can go. Even the and at this point, Danny gets upset and walks the heck out. Even grandmother jumps in and said, listen, you're moving in a way where you are going to end up alone. I said, oh, grandma. Oh, okay. All right. You giving. Just a little. So Danny's family goes out to talk to him and the cousin starts crying. It's a little bit emotional and Danny recognizes that she's the same. He's saying that there's I feel like in this moment he's understanding that marrying Alexis is not going to change who Alexis is and it's not going to make Alexis better. And I feel like a lot of people go into marriage thinking if we get married things have changed. And I especially see that with women who have cheating ass husbands and think if they lock these cheating ass husbands down and they get into a marriage and they have children, then these husbands will stop their philandering ways. 9.5 times out of 10, these niggas are still exactly who they are. You bring all these issues into a marriage and then you're stuck. And I feel like Danley understood this. His energy is shifting. They pan over to the grandmother and the grandmother even says, you talk to Danley like he's a child. You can't do that. Alexis's mother once again agrees. You have to trust Danley. Alexis and Danley talk, so I guess things calm down. Alexis, says that, it's not like we want to get married now. We're going to get married in a year and a half. And Danley says, do you think we're ready to get married? Oh, shit. Danley's eyes are open. He sees the sun, y'all. He sees a new day. He asks if they're ready to get married. She said, she says, anything can happen in the next year and a half. Her answer Are we ready to get married? Anything could happen in the next year and a half. I don't think that's the answer he was looking for, Alexis, boo boo. I feel like the answer he was looking for is, I am generally going to change. I am generally going to put in this work to change who I am. I'm receiving your issues with me, and you're going to see that I am becoming a different person as we progress this year and a half towards marriage. Danley doesn't think they should get married. And I am of the same notion. I don't like Alexis. I don't think you two are mature enough to get married in the least. Alexis says, I feel like you're making me out to be some kind of stalker. And Danley says, yeah, you look bad, but that don't got nothing to do with me. You are making yourself look bad, and you're proving everybody right. And when I say everybody, I felt like he meant his family. Day 3, therapist Tracy checks in. Alexis says she did try to speak to Danny's family, but she reverted back to her old negative self. And Danny says her behavior is a pattern. And it's what it is. Alexis says that, she really wants her family's blessing, but even if she doesn't get her family's blessing, then she's still going to work on herself. Alexis turns to Danley and says, I don't want to lose you. Danley says, you have to live those words, not say them. Danley is a man about action. You can talk from here to Haiti, honey, but if the actions don't back it up, your words don't mean shit. And Danley's understanding this. Therapist Tracy jumps in, and this is one of them gold nuggets. Like, she dragged Alexis without ever having to come out of her face and call Alexis out by her name. Tracy says she understands and she knows from her experience when she's dealing with when someone has a breakthrough. She says usually there's a shift in energy that she feels. Also, the person having the breakthrough, they cry because they're so overwhelmed at this new way of thinking, this new vision. Tracy said to Alexis, I'm not feeling this from you, Alexis. I said, y'all own. I want y'all to give therapist Tracy a little bit extra. Put a little bit extra in the check. Because I was like, girl, yes, on point. Yes. Tracy said she's sensing a shift in Danny, rather. And I keep calling him Danny. Y'all should have called him Danny and called... Y'all should have called his ass Danny and called it a day. Shout out to my little cousin Daniel, aka Danny. We can call you Danny too, Diggy Pop. So, Tracy is sensing a shift in energy with Danley. Danley is understanding that no matter what he does, he cannot control Alexis. He doesn't have any kind of control to stop Alexis from hurting him. And therapist Tracy said on the flip side, I was living for her. She said on the flip side, Alexis, you have this childish thinking to perceive that if you have the passcodes, if you know every conversation going on, that Danley will not hurt you, or you won't get hurt. It doesn't work like that, baby. That's how none of this works like that. Therapist Tracy says, and I have to read this verbatim because it was so insightful. Therapist Tracy says, it is a long-term process of relating to people that you love in a different way. Meaning, instead of talking about you're going to work on yourself, those words that come out like diarrhea, that doesn't mean shit. The action of changing the way of how you deal with Danley is not something that you can say. It's a process. It's a long, hard, and arduous process. And Alexis does not understand that. Therapist Tracy says, looking through his phone in this manner destroys the bonds of trust. I should be able to have a boyfriend and trust him enough to know that I don't have to go looking through his phone for anything incriminating. Damn, after this scene, it reminds me that I gotta make an appointment to see a therapist because I have this horrible fear of bridges that I've developed a few years ago, and I feel like emotionally and mentally I have to unpack, And this scene, and therapist Tracy was so on point. This scene reminds me that I have to find a therapist to talk to. Time for the blessing. So Alexis, asked her Uncle Shannon, "Do we have your blessings?" Uncle Shannon said he came into this with an open mind, but he sees like there's a lot of insecurities within you pertaining to this relationship. You guys need time. You guys need time to work it out. And Uncle Shannon says, "No, you do not have my blessing." Grandma says, "No, you do not have my blessing." She said she came into this situation thinking one way, where her thing, it was like the light versus darkness. Her opinion initially about them not getting married was centered around religion, Catholicism versus Christianity. Now she sees there's a very big trust issue at play, and no, y'all should not get married. The mother starts to talk, and in the middle of the speech, Danny said, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. Straight Kanye that bitch. Like, I'm gonna let you finish. But Danny said, this is way too much going on. I don't think you're ready. I think there's so much that you have to work on. And then Danny said, we shouldn't be engaged right now. Danny yanks the ring off of Alexis's finger like I said, that's the way you do it. Way to grab your balls back, honey. And if you see why he's yanking the ring off the finger, Alexis's hand goes up like don't do it. I say, yeah, Danley said, I'm not breaking up with you, but we cannot get married. Give me my ring back. Grandma's face was like, the uncle questions, now you guys are headed towards the island. This is now that you want to do this. And the mother says, taking the ring back unexpectedly like that, don't you think it's humiliated? Meanwhile, Grandma says, well, you guys really broke up. Danny says, I didn't break up with her. I'm just taking the ring back. Grandma says, no, you did break up. Grandma is so happy. Grandma's like, they broke up. I am very happy about the way things turn. I'm very happy about the way things turn out too, Grandma, because at the end of the day, Danley is too good for your shallow ass granddaughter. So I'm happy too, Grandma. That's the only thing that we can agree on with this whole dumbass episode. Therapist Tracy pops in because at this point, Alexis's family is trying to jump all over Danley for taking the ring back. Therapist Tracy says, Danley made a decision, and you have to understand, this was a 3-day process. This is the conclusion of the 3-day process. Danley has made his decision. This decision is a consequence of their relationship. So basically, the man said what he said, he did what he did, back the hell off. So then we pan over to Danley's cousin. Danley's cousin was like, man, yup. Danley said, that shit was funny as hell, yo. Yo, Alexis, you want a Haitian man? Haitian men could be some petty ass mother effers. I know, I got 2 babies by a Haitian man. His petty took me to jail like 2 or 3 times. Took a bitch to jail. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So you want that Haitian man? Be ready to prepare with the petty behind it. So his friend is so happy. His friend was like, when he took that ring back, that smile was out of this world. So that was the end of the episode. And you know how when they give the clips about what everybody's doing, like later, Danny got baptized, and he's still living with Alexis, but they have no plans on getting married, and Alexis still has the passwords to his phone till this day. So basically, this is gonna be another couple that's living together without the benefit of marriage, instead of breaking up and seeing if you can find a woman that you can get married to. And I'm like, it was funny the way that the episode ended, but it was quite sad because I feel like it contributes to the breakdown of the black family. So we're going to have another guy living with another woman who are not going to get married. That's not cute. I really wish they would have broken up. I really do. But this was, man, this was aggravating the life out of me. This was 45 minutes. I'm so sorry, but I hope I hope I kept you guys entertained enough to stick in with this review. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I got a lot going on. I write resumes. Also popping on my blog, blissfullySingleBean.com. I'll leave all the information in the description box. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for you. You guys are so encouraging. Like, y'all make a girl feel good. You guys have a blessed Sunday, and I'll catch you on Real Housewives of Atlanta because it's geeky good. All right, guys. Peace out. Happy Sunday.